know that you're going to be okay come what may.
888-767-2122. That's 888-767-2122. And Jeff, you've got two.
So, and then I'm going to cover, we'll check in with Clark, of course. And then I've got a list of new guns for SHOT Show that could be of interest to people. We'll cover.
Okay.
And we'll talk about Joseph Schreiner's, Officer Schreiner down in Provo. His services should be kind of wrapping up here shortly.
Who?
Officer Schreiner. He died last Saturday in a shooting with a fugitive apprehension.
Yeah.
Talk about legislation, upcoming events,
Okay.
some action that the Florida governor did this past week. Actually, I think it was yesterday. Talk about the DWR calendar, things to get ready for those that are outdoor enthusiasts, big game hunters. Then I've got a Chicago Democrat that was arrested. That's kind of an interesting take on what happened there. And we've got a Oklahoma teen that was killed by a homeowner with an AR-15. And Grandpa doesn't think it was justified or fair because the kid only had brass knuckles breaking into his house. Sorry, you don't bring brass knuckles
I
to
can
a
protect
gunfight.
my home,
So,
yeah.
what do they say? You don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Or that?
Yeah,
You don't bring-
exactly.
You don't bring
Brass knuckles.
brass knuckles to a gunfight. Well, when you're breaking into a home.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
more. And then it was funny, the grandfather even admitted that, that wasn't a right thing for that kid to do. Well, there are consequences, and sometimes they might be fatal, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It might not come out the way the kid expected it. But anyway, and then we'll talk about House Bill 87. This is Elizabeth Waite's bill. I'm trying to figure out where she is from, what district she is in. She, District 31. So if we looked at District 31, let's see where District 31 is.
Two firefighters are dead and dozens of people are hurt after a tense explosion. Paris today. French authorities say the powerful blast happened as firemen were looking for a gas leak in the building.
Oh, did you watch that Jazz game last night?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Was it intense? Did they win?
Yeah.
Nice.
They
It was
smoked
LA, right?
LA.
Yeah.
LA wasn't even in
Awesome.
in the game.
Hey, so this Faster Saves Lives is a program that schools, it's a nonprofit, no-cost training that schools can have this company come out and train their teachers
Oh,
in
interesting.
firearm safety and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't find, okay, there it is. House District 31. Oh, now this is very unique. This is West Valley. We might be even in District 31. I'm trying, okay, there's 201. And that must be, 3100 South. Yeah, I think we might even be in the district. It's a very unique district layout. Goes into part of South Salt Lake as well. So West Valley. I'm trying to find Decker Lake. All right, we got. Oh, I can't see. There we go.
What?
30 seconds. Okay, welcome our YouTube friends.
Woohoo!
We got a great show for you.
Yeah.
And should be good. Should be interesting. Should be very lively. So,
Yeah.
whoops, as I...
Gun rights advocate and chairman of the Utah Shooting Sports Council, Clark Aposian.
Hey, and welcome to Gun Radio Utah. Your host, Bill Pedersen. And across from me today is the lovely Casey Jane Hansen Aposian.
Ooh, you almost had to
Nope,
put a $5
I
in
was
the
not going to
Hanson
put
swear
money
jar.
in the Hansen swear jar. But glad to have
That's a good
you
save.
with us on
you.
this smoggy,
Ugh.
ugly day. You know, I almost went out shooting today, and as I was loading my rifle and my ammo, the ammo just said, nope, I'm
Nope,
not coming
nope.
out of the bag today.
Yeah, I live with my inhaler like
It's ugly.
during this
Now, I
month.
just came
Yeah.
back, and I'll tell people because
Yeah.
there's a kind of another story going along with this. I came back from Las Vegas yesterday,
How was
and
Vegas?
Vegas was a lot clearer than
Beautiful. Yeah.
than what we see here. But it was interesting as I'm driving up I-15 up Utah County. You see this wall of black. I mean, literally, I'm looking
Ooh.
off to the left. I see haze. The sun's going down. Sun's looking like a little sun-kissed orange coming through the
This yesterday?
the clouds, yeah. It's about 5 o'clock yesterday, and all of a sudden I'm looking and I'm just like going, what in the heck is in front of me?
Ew.
It was nasty.
Ew.
And I'm like on the phone. It's like, what am I driving into? Is this a storm or what?
Yeah.
Nope. It
Nope,
is just
gross.
fog, smog,
I know.
ugliness.
I asked Google what the weather was supposed to be, and she said sunny and like 40 degrees. I'm
Yeah.
like, where is the sun?
7,000 feet above sea level.
Seriously.
But yeah, glad to have you with us. We've got a lot to cover today. We're going to check in with Clark here later this afternoon. He is in traveling and he is on assignment.
Yep.
And talk about some new guns.
Ooh.
SHOT Show's coming up, speaking of Vegas.
Yeah, 2 weeks, I think.
Yep, 2 weeks away. And kind of getting a little itch. You know, we had Davidson Defense on last
Oh,
week.
yeah. That was good.
And he got me thinking. He
Uh-oh.
really got me. In fact, we're going to probably go make a visit next
What's
week
your,
down
what's
there.
your wife say?
She doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
She
Okay.
doesn't.
Does she listen?
Honey, some flowers are coming your way.
Exactly. Maybe a nice diamond necklace.
Exactly. I've learned not to do jewelry. You know that.
That's true. That's true.
Don't do jewelry. But new guns. And we're going to talk about some of these new guns. I was actually amazed by some of these firearms that are going to be showcased here at SHOT Show.
Yay! Can't wait
And
to
I've
hear
got a
about it.
nice little list for Clark to check out, and we'll see what we can find out. We're going to talk about legislation. Upcoming events that, legislation starts right after SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
We're
Busy.
going to talk about House Bill 87. Interesting bill that Representative Waite, Elizabeth Waite, is running. We actually had to find out where 37 is, and I think we're right in the middle of District 37 here in West
Ooh,
Valley.
So this applies.
This applies, and I don't see a Senate representative. The bill's been assigned. I don't see a sponsor from the Senate. And we're going to talk about this and why there shouldn't be a sponsor from the Senate. She'll probably find one. We're going to talk about Florida. Some of the crazy things that are still happening in Florida. You're not going to be. You're going to be a little surprised on.
You visit Florida often too.
Yep, I'll be down there again at the end of the month
Yeah,
in
take your-
Broward County. So
Take your new guns with you.
yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about
Blah, 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 blah. DWR.
DWR calendar. And just some things to be aware of. Just mark your calendar. We don't want to be surprised at the end of the day with DWR and some of the things we have to prepare for. Talking about a Chicago individual, a Democrat, works for very highly...
You kind of just like cringed a little when you said the word Democrat.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if something came up from the back of my throat or something,
Yeah,
but
you just
I mean
kinda,
it was it was like
that word.
Yeah. He was arrested. We're going to cover some things why he was arrested and what the FBI found. And we're going to talk about a horrible incident a couple of weeks ago with an Oklahoma teenager that was killed by a homeowner. Yeah, it was a sad event. We'll cover that as well, too. Yeah, and then also, we're a lot of news, national news, this manufactured crisis. So today's our show is kind of manufactured. It's going to be our manufactured crisis radio show today. And if you've got a manufactured crisis comment, I'd love to hear it. And you can call in at 888. Yeah, Alex
Hey, Alex, guess what? We're opening
Alex,
the phone
we're going to
line.
open up the line. We got the big thumbs up. He's like, you didn't tell me about that. 888-570-8010. And here's my manufactured crisis.
Okay, let's hear it.
Did you see the rebuttal from Schumer and Pelosi at the end of...
I missed it. Do tell.
Well, all you have to do is go on Facebook, and you can
Okay.
see this nice single image of the two standing next to each other. And there's
Right.
been so many comments on
Right.
it. I don't think this served them well. I don't think they did a good job. I felt like they were not fully prepared.
Okay. Sure.
But if there was a manufactured crisis that anyone should be upset about, it's those two. And I don't know who Pelosi Nancy goes to for her Botox, but it was not good.
But don't go there.
Have you ever come home from a date? Go back to your teenage days.
Okay.
Okay. I have to go back a few more years than you.
Gonna say,
And
I
you
don't have to
came
go
home,
back far.
Yeah, and you came home late one night, and Mom and Dad were standing at the door with this look.
Oh.
This
You
was
never
worse than
dared.
that look.
Yeah, you never dared to come home a minute late.
This was worse than
12:01,
that
you
look.
were in trouble.
But it was interesting. I was down in Vegas this past weekend on Thursday night. We had a little, of course, last week was CES. I'll
Yep.
tell people
Yep.
it was CES. And I'm in the technology market for my full-time business. And so we go down every year and we kind of scope things out. It was actually a really good show.
I used to go to CES with my dad all the
yeah,
time,
in fact,
and I love
speaking
it.
of your dad, I
Yeah.
actually ran into your dad.
Are you,
and it
are
was
you going to
awesome.
help him sell drones?
Hell,
He sells
I
drones?
didn't see the drones.
Oh, dang it.
Does it? Can I mount a Glock 43 on it?
We could try.
We could try.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll come back to that.
Okay, we'll talk to
So
Dad.
I'm down there at this little, after the show event, and we're sitting around this table, and my buddy next to me is like, "Hey, what do you guys like to do? What do you guys do when you're not working?" I must have been at the table of gun gods
Oh.
because one of them was from San Diego, California. And he goes, yeah, I like to do this and that, this and the other, and didn't say much about firearms.
Okay.
The next guy's from Arkansas. He's like, well, I like to hunt, I like to fish, I like to go out and shoot, and
You're like,
and to
"Me,
be
me."
honest, I like to do long range shooting. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
I do
For
too.
the next hour and a half, it felt like we were talking nothing but firearms. And
Oh,
of course,
geez.
it was really nice to chat with them. And I said, hey, anytime you come to Utah, gave him my card. I said, you look me up.
You
give
made
me
a
a
new
call.
Best friend.
I think so.
little
I made a couple of
bromance,
them.
A little bromance.
A little
going on.
bromance going on.
Yeah.
And I said, let's go shooting. I said, I will take you out shooting.
Aw.
And he loves to hunt big game, and white-tailed deer in Arkansas aren't the
I was
biggest.
going to say, is that considered
But-
big game?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
It is a big game, kind of on the smaller end. But,
Okay.
but some of the whitetails can be even bigger than in other areas. And so he likes to hunt Montana. And I said, Utah has a great environment to come hunting. And so I
Yeah.
said, anytime you want to come shooting, you want to know about hunting, give me a call. I'll hook you up. So
Look at you making friends. I'm so proud.
you just never know when you
No.
find these people. And when you do, you just have to get a little excited. And it can make those dinner events go a lot
True.
better
True.
than having to sit around and just talk business. And
But if you're Clark, now here's the other side of that. If
Okay.
you're Clark, people only talk guns
Well, yeah.
around us. And so he comes home and says, I really wish
expected.
other people would not bring up guns. Like, I want to talk about something other than guns. And
I'll be there.
so, good for you. But on the other side, if somebody came up and was like, let's talk guns, Clark would kind of,
Oh,
okay.
Dilly, okay. Well, that was my week.
So good for you.
Awesome. Well, hey, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the new firearms that we're going to find in SHOT Show this next week. And I think some of these are going to excite you as a listener and kind of get you thinking, better start that swear jar again and start saving some money.
Excellent.
When we come back, Gun Radio Utah, Bill Pedersen sitting in for Clark Aposhian. We'll be right back.
Are you
Why is that?
Why is what? What? Why is what?
No one wants to talk technology.
Yeah,
They want to talk guns when they talk to me. Hey, Bill,
right.
what do you think about this law?
No problem, we'll
But-
talk tech.
Yeah.
Clark likes to talk guns. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like wherever we go, we could be in a little grocery store and someone will come up and be like, gun legislation, what's going on? And tell me all about
That's
it.
the
And this
big thing
gun
right
and that
now is
gun
legislation.
and blah, 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 blah. And he just goes, can I just like get my groceries and go home? Like,
So I did run into a celebrity there,
ooh.
Wesley Snipes.
Ooh.
That was a shocker. And I didn't catch on who it was initially. What?
How long do you want the next segment to be?
Oh, let's go 10. But yeah, I didn't catch, one of the other guys caught him. I'm like, I'll be darned, that's cool. Went shook hands with him. Hey, great to see you at the show.
Whoa.
You know, so.
Are you and my dad going in business together?
You know, I respect what your dad does.
Really?
Because I was in the rep business as well. It's a tough business, and it can get a little crazy at times, but
Oh, yeah.
I love that type of work. In fact, I kind of do that for other companies
Oh, cool.
in my space as well. I'll come across, in fact, I was talking to a voice carrier, and I said, you got to check this out. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, let me show you something I can do.
Yeah.
And he about died. He goes, you got to be kidding me. I can remotely manage any IP phone out there in my customer's network, plus any other devices that are on their network.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't have to send a tech. He goes, that costs us $45 an hour, and we count on 2 or 3 hours for them to be on site.
$45 an hour.
And yeah, well, some of them are even higher than that.
I went into the very wrong career.
Oh, yeah, some of them. In fact, at first, I was doing, it was close to $100, 70 to $85 an hour. And one I charged 120 because I didn't want to do it. It wasn't my account. It was one of those that, oh, you know, if I price it high, I won't have to worry about it.
Right.
And they hired me, and so I was like, oh, okay. And so,
Okay, now you have to apologize for all the non-gun talk.
oh yeah, we are not,
During the break.
definitely not talking.
You know
Sorry.
what?
So this is the way it is on the back end of the show. Here in about 30 seconds, we'll be getting going again on gun stuff, so. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff, so.
Cool.
We got 25 here. Let me pull up my list. Okay.
Cold and flu season hits hard, especially for the millions living with heart disease, asthma, or cancer. A fever can be a sign of the flu and a trip to the ER. Hospitals prefer the Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Backed by more than 70 clinical studies, it's the best way to stay safe this season.
There are no apologies on this show. Welcome back to Gun Radio Utah with Clark Aposhian on Talk Radio 105.9 KNRS. Listen, and you'll know.
Quite
My
catchy.
generation.
Oh, I was going to say, this sounds quite
My
nice.
generation.
Quite catchy.
It is. It is. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Radio Utah
No
on the
apologies.
great 105.9 and the, I think, what are we, 570 AM, I believe. Welcome to the show. And we're talking about, well, all kinds of crazy things, but
Yep.
And if you want to watch us and see what happens in the studio, go check out our Facebook page. We have links.
If you
to
want to see
YouTube.
what color my hair is this week,
Yep. What color
Tune
is
in.
Casey's hair? We might have to give away a gift. If you can tell us what color Casey's hair is by calling in at 888-570. In fact, I will make sure you get a gift.
yeah. Let's
Caller
do it.
number 1, 888-570-8010. If you can tell us what color Casey's hair is, well, you'll get a Utah Sheen Sports Council t-shirt.
Woohoo!
How's that?
That's amazing. I love t-shirts.
Randall's like going, what are you
I know.
doing?
Randall's like, la, la, la. I didn't hear that. No.
I didn't hear that. Well, I just went out on the edge, and we'll get you a Utah Sheen Sports Council t-shirt.
They are
And
pretty cool. I like them.
If you would like to have your own t-shirt,
Yeah, I would.
meet us at one of the gun shows down at the
Mountain
yeah, I
America
almost called it the
Expo.
Sandy Expo, the Mountain America Expo, and I think we have another one coming up here in just a few weeks, 1st of February, I believe.
Ooh.
And just sign up as a member, and you will
And how to find us when you go is look for the banner outside where the gun show is.
exactly.
And the minute you walk in the door, that first booth before you even go into the show itself
Is the Utah
is
Shooting
our
Sports
booth.
Council.
So-
Exactly. So,
And people are always excited to talk to you, and we want to talk guns, so come
well,
say
and,
hi.
and it does a lot of good for Utah and those that live in the Utah community. We
Right.
take those funds as you sign up to be a member, and we take those funds, and those are applied to activities that we do to help legislators. We help school teachers.
Yep.
We do concealed carry classes. We do all
Absolutely.
kinds of things. Your money goes to great use, and you walk away with either a hat
Yeah.
or a T-shirt
Or a patch.
or a patch. And
Uh-huh.
we had to give a patch to a guy last week.
Yeah,
didn't
we did. We did.
He really liked it. He was going to rip it off my jacket. So let me get
No,
you
go
one.
get your
So,
own.
yeah, exactly.
mine.
Get your own. But or if you just want to be on our emails, you can go to
Yeah.
UtahShootingSportsCouncil.org and just sign up for our email alerts.
We don't give out your email. We will not give it to anyone
We
else.
don't solicit you.
Nope.
We don't ask for money or donations.
Nope.
This is something to keep you informed on legislation activities in Utah where we might need your support and help.
Exactly.
And I'll guarantee it this year. I think we have, I want to say, 4 bills this year that are going to be red flag bills.
Ooh, red flag laws.
Executive protection orders,
Oh, yeah.
EPO,
ERPO.
ER,
Extreme Risk
Extreme
Protection
Risk
Order.
Protection Order.
Woohoo!
Thank
Clark
you.
would be so proud because
Yeah,
I
you-
listened to
you
him
had
at
to-
home.
You had to correct me on it. I hate TLAs, but these are important for us.
Absolutely.
A lot of states around Utah, and as we see the migration, I was reading an interesting article on the exit strategy that is in California. The massive numbers of people's families, jobs that are leaving California and going to other states.
Absolutely.
And so it's a great way. Join USSC, get on the email alert, and be familiar with
yeah.
what's happening in Utah.
It's
So,
pretty funny. I'm searching the job boards just for like a college professor type job, and there's a lot of openings in California, and I just scroll right past them.
Yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
that's not going to happen. Yeah, you might want to narrow that search window to
Exactly. Not
Utah,
California.
and it's what, a half a page? No,
Like 2.
2 pages. There you go.
No, like 2 job postings.
2 job postings. That's awesome. So we're talking as at the end of the last break. We're going to come in and talk about some of the new guns. Here's one that caught my eye.
Okay.
This is a handgun. This is a revolver.
Ooh.
8 rounds in the cylinder.
Wow.
22 WMR. So small. It's a high capacity but small 22 round bullet.
Okay.
You can shoot 8 shots in 3 seconds
What?
on a revolver.
No.
Okay, and now there's something that's very
No.
unique about this. It's actually a double barrel revolver.
No,
Now, we
what?
talked about the 2911, which is a double barrel.
2911.
Yeah, 2911, which is a double barrel 1911. We shot it
Oh,
together.
Yeah.
Remember
at
the Tiffany colored, the big
yes.
shootout at the ranch?
Yes.
Yeah,
We
the
did
farm
do
or
that.
whatever they
right
call that today?
In June, right?
Yeah.
Right before my wedding. Yeah,
Exactly.
I do remember that.
And
okay.
so now they have a revolver, and it
That's
double
so
shoots
cool.
22s, 2 rounds per trigger pull. So in 3 seconds, you basically empty the gun
Does it go one round and then the other?
Nope.
Or at the same time?
simultaneously.
This,
Yeah.
What?
Now, keep in mind, the big thing with the 2911 is that's semi-automatic. So we have to be as close as we can to shoot that gun, because as we fire, one round goes off, that cylinder, the slide's already in action, ready to reject, and we got to make sure both bullets go out. In a revolver, both bullets go out. You then reset the trigger and squeeze it again. The cylinder rotates, fires again.
Cool.
So we don't have there's a timing thing involved with it to make sure that the cylinder's in place, but not as critical as on a 1911 or the 2911.
Super cool.
So, yeah,
How much
this
is
is
that going for,
It's
do you know?
about $350.
Oh, I got my own money, man.
You
I
got your
don't,
own money. Yeah, we
I
talked
don't need
about
husband approval.
the good old money. The other thing, we talked about this, the Mossberg is introducing the MC1 SC, which is a semi-automatic 9mm pistol. I kind of like it. It's not a high capacity though.
No.
I think it was a 6+1 if I remember
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
not
Yep.
good. Now, Glock had the same problem with their 43. They thought that was a low capacity, so they're coming out with the new 43X that gives you an extended barrel, or not extended magazine and grip,
Cool.
so you can hold more ammo. The others that I saw, the Keltec CP33 looks very, very interesting. Let's see. Oh, Springfield Armory
Yeah.
coming out with a whole bunch of them. In fact,
Ooh.
I like Springfield. That's one of my favorite firearms, and some people will laugh, and they say, it's not a good gun. But then when they shoot it, I let them shoot it, they're like,
oh.
that's a pretty decent gun. So they've got a new 525 coming out in a 4.5 inch and also a 5. Well, I shouldn't say a 525. They have a 10 millimeter coming out in 4.5 inch barrel and a 5 1/4.
Cool.
I like the 5 1/4. It is
Yeah.
very nice. I have that in 40 today. So to upgrade that and make that a 10, I think it holds 16 in 1, which is incredible for a 10 millimeter on a handgun.
Kidding.
Yeah. Then they've got a whole line of 911s, and these are little small 380 autos,
Oh,
pistols,
cool.
a whole array of different colors. Then they've got their XDE. This is a hammer fire.
DE.
XDE. So all their other guns except for their 1911s and that, are striker fire.
Okay.
This is a hammer. And so they've got that in a 3.8 inch barrel and a 4.5, and they're 4.5.
Wow.
Iverson Johnson. This was an interesting. This is a 4-barrel 22 pistol.
4
4
barrel.
barrels, and it's like a pepper box. If you remember in the old days, the old pepper box.
Little white box that you like lift one side up, and all the.
Yep, you got it. You
Yes.
got it. Yep, it's 4 barrels.
I'm not that young.
Very interesting. Rifles. Browning is introducing a bunch of long-range rifles for our long-range shooters. I think that'll be very interesting. Savage is coming out with their new 110 High Country, and it's got a whole bunch of range options for different calibers. But this is designed to be a lightweight rifle.
For hunting?
Used for backpacking for hunting. And I notice on the very tip of the barrel, it's a threaded barrel, so you can put a suppressor on it. Way to go, Savage. You finally got it. I've been complaining every year. Why do you
You are so
introduce all
excited.
these guns and you don't come out with threaded barrels? And when we come back, Henry Arms. Henry Arms. We love the 22 lever action rifles, and they've got a whole bunch of others. They're coming out with a new one called the Long Ranger. I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
6.5 Creedmoor.
What?
Yeah, in a lever action. Go figure that. So, and then there's shotguns and everything else. But yeah, some things to look forward to at a shop near you. If you want to find out some more information, go to SHOT Show and just kind of look up the new firearm introductions and get all excited and
Now
start
I
saving
wish
your
I was
pennies.
going.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. And when we come back, we've got more to talk about. And Casey, you've got a little item as well that you're going to be covering as well. Yeah. You're listening to Gun Radio Utah. We'll be right back.
For more information about
Awesome. We'll probably go. Let's go. How do you do 12?
12. 10.
10? Let's do
12.
No, is that, so it's like that?
Because this is 10.
Yeah. Oh, 10?
So then 11.
Oh.
12.
How do you
13.
do 22?
22.
Oh, really? And then 32? 42?
44, yeah.
44, 40, yeah.
The 3 is this way, though. This is a W.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So you got to do it.
That's
33. Uh-huh.
See, I used to know
44.
sign language when I was a little kid. Yeah, you know, I just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. I ain't going to get Morse code, so might as well learn sign language.
Yeah.
Cool.
But if it's in the teens, you flick it. 12.
This is our snack for the
Those
day.
are so good. Oh my
Awesome
gosh.
pretzels.
Yeah, get them at Macy's, right?
You know, a lot of people have them. Cow Ranch. You can get them at Cow Ranch, believe it or not.
Excellent.
Macy's have them. Smith's has them. Where else did I see them that I was really surprised?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, amazingly expensive too, but worth every bite. Let's see, how much time we got? 2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes? 2 minutes, yeah.
So did you see one of the companies my dad sells for, Mizco?
Yeah, that's what I was at.
Love them. They've given me stuff for my DSLR cameras and
Oh, really?
just because they like my dad so
Yeah.
much. I'm like, here, have a flash.
Now
Here, have a
if I
battery
remember
pack.
right, that's
Here,
a
have
company that has they have a
They're all
lot of different companies
digital.
under Mizco.
Yeah, yeah, we like
Yeah, very
Mizco.
good company. I'd like to see the drone thing.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to get a drone. That would be kind of fun.
should.
They did have these little.
Yeah? Oh yeah, you do it at my wedding. You.
Oh, yeah,
showed me
that's
you,
right,
like,
that's
flew
right,
it
yeah.
At my wedding, it's cool.
They had this. They showed this one. It's called a Bumblebee drone. It's really small, and they were picking up some stuff. I mean, the video on it was incredible, and they were going over racetracks, snow ski slopes, and all that with it. And it was
Cool.
just a little Bumblebee, and it was pretty. It was pretty clever. Now, I think if you were in a windy condition, though,
Right.
Yeah.
it would be worthless.
So I have a friend who does the FPV races. So it's like you wear goggles, so you're watching from the viewpoint of the drone, and you set up an obstacle course, and you fly the drone under things and around
the
things.
race course. Yeah, those are wild because they're like black light, aren't they? And you're just watching, and you're just going through these loops,
You get dizzy?
bars. Oh, I would.
Yeah. I would get so nauseous if that's what I
Yeah.
was watching. Like,
Well,
oh.
and you got to know the course
Oh.
because it's all dark,
Cool.
and the black lights light up the
Course.
items, the course. Yeah. So I'm sure certain colors mean okay, you got to go left, you got to go right. It's not like it's like whoop, it's a hard right or a hard left.
Oh.
Or hard up, hard down. I mean, it's pretty well. Oh, here we go.
Talk Radio 1059, KNRS. Listen and you'll know. Your host, Clark Kaposian.
I do know this song.
So you're not far off of
I
my
like
generation.
this song. This actually, U2 was my first concert I ever went to. 9th grade.
9th grade.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna say. Yeah, it was my first concert too, as a senior in high school or college. But 9th grade. Wow. Wow. So there you have it. Welcome back, Gun Radio Utah. That gives you kind of an idea of what you're working with today. Clark is on assignment today. We're going to check in with him in the next segment.
Yeah.
See what's happening in California. I bet you our smog is worse than what he's got.
Oh, absolutely. I guarantee it. I bet you. He said it was a little rainy, drizzly last night.
Rainy,
and I was
drizzly.
like, I hate you.
Well, welcome to our Manufactured Crisis Gun Show today. And Casey, right before we left, you got something for us.
I do. Okay, let's
share
do this.
with us. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, If You Give a Moose a Muffin.
A moose, a muffin, yeah.
Have you heard of those books? It's a whole series now. Well, there's an article out there from, I think it was GQ that I found it, and it's called When You Give a Teacher a Gun.
Oh.
And
from GQ? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was really weird. It just came out a few days ago, and it's very long. It's a very long read. I will be honest. I didn't
just
make
give
it
us
past
kind of give us kind of the
first
highlights on that.
But what's cool about it is it talks about this program that actually came out a while ago, before Sandy Hook occurred in 2012, and it's called Faster Saves Lives, and the word faster is all capitalized, so I'm sure it stands for something. But it's a program that this company called Buckeye Firearms Foundation has started putting together.
So that's Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they come from Ohio, and they put together this Faster Save Lives for teachers in an active shooting situation. And schools can go onto their website. You just Google Faster Save Lives, and you go onto their website, and anyone, a school personnel person, can sign up and have them come. Nonprofit, doesn't cost you anything to have them come. And they will train teachers in an active shooter situation.
That's interesting.
And, before Sandy Hook happened, and before Parkland for sure.
Parkland.
Before Parkland happened, this program was kind of struggling to find people to go out and teach because it just wasn't that popular, well-known.
Yeah, it's
people
not
didn't
top
do
of
it.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after Parkland happened, there's now over 2,000 people on the wait list waiting to be trained, and so they're just going crazy over it.
So Buckeye Firearms Group up in Ohio is very similar to the Utah Shooting Sports Council.
Oh, cool.
So you'll find different groups throughout the nation that emulate Utah Shooting Sports Council, and they go out and they put these programs in place. And I know that it wasn't that long ago I read that Weber State Sheriff's Department was also doing a similar program to this, and that's one thing that I think we should follow up as a shooting sports council to get more information on. But it was interesting. It was about 2 or 3 years ago at SHOT Show, believe it or not.
Okay.
We were in the law enforcement area, and one of the booths had these bandanas, these sashes.
Yeah.
That if there was ever an emergency event, whether medical or, life-saving or whatever, you you pull it out and you put it on.
Cool.
And I looked at Clark and I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because I know there's other groups in Utah that does something similar, that if an event were to happen, they can easily identify themselves to law enforcement. I mean, how many bad guys go walking in with a fluorescent orange or yellow sash that says bad guy?
Yeah, and my coworkers were actually talking about this the other day. I have coworkers that are very much more on the liberal side of things, so we don't talk politics much, and we definitely don't talk guns much. We just keep that out. But one of my coworkers said that he heard on the news that a lot of times recently, cops have accidentally shot the good guy because he's holding the gun. And they don't know who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. And so in an active shooter situation at a school, how do you know that I'm not the bad guy, I'm a teacher? Or whatever.
Right. And so as Clark and I were talking about this, we've always talked about this in our classes.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Exactly.
What do you do? And the question always goes is, okay, you want to solve problem number one. What is problem number one?
Stop the bad guy.
Stop the bad guy or get out. Whatever you can do to protect your family. That's problem number one.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
Problem number two, okay, maybe I'm wearing a sash or maybe that's problem number two.
Yeah.
Let's deal with number one. Because if you don't get past solving number one, number
What's
two
the
doesn't
point in
matter.
number two?
Exactly. And that same argument goes, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people, is how do I identify myself as a concealed weapons permit holder?
Sure.
And there's a lot of people that are saying maybe we need to have badges.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, then you're emulating law enforcement. Well,
Right.
okay, it's one thing if you're trying to act like a cop and be a
Wanna
cop
be
or
a
something. Yeah,
cop.
want to be a cop. Can't do that, okay? But if it's a way of identifying yourself to solve problem number one from the guys that are working on problem number two,
Right.
it
Right.
might not be a bad idea. So anyway, some
Sure.
food for thought. But
Sure.
yeah, interesting
I love it.
interesting
Yeah.
article.
So if you're interested in looking up more, go to Faster Save Lives. Faster Saves Lives. I think it's .org, but Google it. Just
Yeah.
type in Faster Saves Lives.
Or I'm sure you can look it up through the Buckeye Firearms
Buckeye
on
Firearms Foundation.
Foundation on Facebook or
Yeah.
Google that as
Yep,
well too.
yep.
Awesome. Well, great. Thanks for that. That's
Yeah.
very good information, and it kind of fits in line because you remember they just released the Parkland shooting reports
Oh,
about 2
you were
weeks
gonna
ago.
Talk about that. Right?
Yeah, last week we ran out of time, but guess what? One of the recommendations was
What?
to arm teachers.
Oh,
They
that's such a
think-
good
yeah.
idea. I wish
Yeah.
we came up with that sooner.
Yeah. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? But speaking of Florida,
Yeah. Let's
talking
hear it.
about that in first segment, the Florida governor did some pretty interesting thing.
What'd he do?
So the Broward County Sheriff at the time was Scott Israel. And Scott Israel is now unemployed.
Oh.
The governor actually went in and said, you know what? You're suspended. You pack your bags, walk out.
Ooh,
We're going
okay.
to find someone else. They've actually got a replacement. I think he comes from Coral City, or I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it was interesting. Here's the governor's comment on this. He failed to protect the Floridians and visitors during a tragic Fort Lauderdale International Airport shooting. He failed in his duties to keep our families and children safe during the devastating shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas on February 14th. These incidents demonstrate Sheriff Israel's repetitive incompetence and neglect of duty.
Wow.
Yeah. The families of the victims deserve accountability, and it is my job as governor to ensure that the safety of our local communities, especially the safety of our children, is paramount.
Wow.
Government officials must be held accountable for their actions and or inactions. For these reasons, I'm suspending Sheriff Israel from the office effective immediately.
Ooh.
Now, going on to our theme of manufactured crisis. I'll tell you, if other governors had the same attitude,
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't be in the situation that we're in with these so-called manufactured crises. In California, these sanctuary cities, these sanctuary states, it just makes my blood boil.
It
And
does.
I watched a news report, I think it was last night, and my heart was breaking. These angel parents of these children that have been killed by illegal immigrants that have
Sad.
come into this
That's
country.
So sad.
And yeah, I don't want to put a tag on all of them,
No, not at
but
all.
guess what? We have a process. All we ask is you follow that process.
Exactly.
My grandfather followed that
Yep.
process when he came in
Yeah.
into this country, and so
Clark's parents
exactly.
are from, well, his dad was from Armenia. and
We're
they-
all immigrants
had
of
to
some
come
port
in
of
this
some
way
kind,
legally,
unless
and they did,
unless
and-
we're American Indian.
Yeah.
We're all immigrants of some kind, and we're an
Yeah.
immigrant-friendly country.
Yeah.
It's just that there's rules to be followed, and we're just talking offline earlier. There's a building right down the road from us that has a big fence around it.
Yeah, with
Keep
cameras.
people out with cameras.
Lots of cameras.
Lots of cameras. I don't see any racist banners on that fence, and it's a government facility.
Yeah.
It's a big government
We have
facility.
it for a reason.
Exactly. So, yeah, great article, and appreciate that bringing that up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, interesting read out of Florida. I think this happened yesterday, if I remember right. Sometimes I grab these, and I'm not sure exactly when they have them. I just, it's a good article.
Oh, that's a good one.
grab. Yeah. But yeah, so effective immediately, Broward County got a new sheriff, and I think it's a long time coming. And I think the attitude is now I'm going to be in Broward County in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be talking to law enforcement there. I'm going to get their take.
Take your double barrel revolver or your
My little 22 double barrel.
4-barrel.
My pepper box gun. Yeah. So, but anyway, great article, great information. And when we come back, we're going to get Clark the Aposhian.
Yeah.
I heard he was celebrating Christmas last week, the Armenian Christmas celebration.
Yep.
So we'll get him on the show. And you're listening to Gun Radio Utah. Glad to have you along. We'll be right back.
Have you been
Awesome. Okay, what else do I have to cover still?
Time we have.
We're going to talk about House Bill 87. We're going to do that with Clark. So we're going to start with the DW calendar. And then we'll go to House Bill 87.
Mention the gun exchange stuff. Just say we're going to talk about it.
I don't know if we should we?
I'm surprised we haven't got any calls to call in on,
I know.
which is fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I feel bad for Sam.
We told Sam that we were not going to talk to press at all, because Clark got called yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
And I think you're like asking me to bail out to cover it. And then when I talked to Clark, I'm like, I don't think we should.
No, I think we should stay out of it.
Just watch it from afar.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
see how it develops.
I think some people jump into, they jump to conclusions a little too quick when we don't have all the information.
Right.
Now,
Absolutely.
talking to Sam, this isn't good for Brian.
No.
Sam has saw this coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we'll let them work it out. Any more pretzels?
I'm good.
Okay. We're good too. I wonder if these would be good with like a nacho cheese dip.
Oh,
I
snap.
have to bring extra insulin. Because that'd just be...
Yeah. Some mild queso.
Exactly.
So. Awesome. How's our YouTube thing going?
It's good.
Yeah, do we have people
Awesome.
watching? Do we know?
3.
3?
But, it'll be there for
Yeah,
people to watch
it's there
later.
forever.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
I go back to the first one I did on YouTube, and it's I actually got quite a few views. Let's see, we got a minute and a half,
Okay.
so. So we got Clark on the line. Awesome.
Yay.
Clark.
Oh, Clark. So weird to call him Clark. Is it weird for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I'm going to say. He's on the line, 8.5 minutes for the last segment.
Oh, okay, perfect. I didn't hear any of that come through.
No, I know, that's why I told you.
In fact, we don't even have the monitor speakers going.
I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
turned down pretty low, but it's fun.
Oh, it was all the way down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're hearing it through my
Oh,
headphones.
okay.
Yeah, it's, in fact, I'm gonna turn those headphones down a little.
Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel.
Yeah, I know I'm going to say Winton over air one time, and people are going to be like, huh?
Free information, 823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Yeah, the headphones is what's feeding into the,
Oh, okay.
so.
Yeah, you got the same board I got.
Yeah,
I like it.
I had another
They're
one.
cheap.
I had another
They're
one
good.
that was like this, and
That's
I
cool.
bought it off eBay, and
So I
Like
don't
6
remember
weeks.
the digital LED thing.
it's got effects.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
effects on
Okay.
mine. Okay.
But yeah, I bought one off eBay,
5
and like
seconds.
6 weeks later, the power supply stopped working, and
Oh, sad.
Oh, wow.
yeah, I ended up buying another one.
Oh, sad.
We used ours for our remotes.
Did he fire 6 shots?
There was that one.
apology is a word not allowed on this show. Clark Composition is back with Gun Radio Utah on Talk Radio 105.9. KNRS. Listen, and you'll know.
Okay. And if he shot 8 shots, he shot from the brand new S333.
That's right.
8-round double barrel revolver. Hey, for our listeners, glad to have you on today. Gun Radio Utah. We've got Bill Pedersen, one of the directors of the Utah Shooting Sports Council, and across from me is our media coordinator,
Hooray!
Casey Jane Hansen Oposhian.
I swear, if it's not $5, you're gonna have to put in like $2.50.
$2.50.
Because I know you want to say Hansen in the worst possible way.
Actually, I want to just say KJ, and
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
even simplified.
Yeah,
but
that's
we
fine.
are glad to have Casey here in with us today. And one of the things that I was mentioning at our beginning of the show is we've got the DWR calendar. If you're not familiar with the DWR calendar, go check it out. And at the end of the month, of course, we have our big game application period. And I got to figure something out. One of my friends got his turkey results back.
Turkey results?
Yeah, so we already had a turkey tag drawing for the early spring turkey hunt.
Okay.
He was unsuccessful.
Oh.
And he's like, Bill, what did you get? What did you get? I haven't seen anything. I haven't got an email. I got to go. I guess I ought to go check my credit cards, but I'm like,
yeah.
I know I signed up
weird.
because I got a receipt for the charge and everything, but I have not seen anything. If
Maybe
I was
you're
successful,
the big winner. You get like 2 tags. You get like
that
double.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. That'd be good. But anyway, mark your calendars. January 31st is the big, application period for all of them. Your limited entries, your big game tags, and if you're not familiar with that in Utah, you have to put in for these tags in specific areas and basically tell the DWR where you want to hunt.
Okay.
And you have multiple choices of where you want to hunt and where you can get a tag in that. But you can add friends, family members, and all that, so you can.
Oh, cool.
If one draws, then they all draw, type
cool.
thing. But it's kind of Utah's lottery system.
Okay.
It's the only thing that I give out money. It's like a $10 lottery card, and I scratch my card, and it's like, you lost. But I've got a lot of points. I got 18 points this year, and so I'm hoping I can draw my premium. It means 18 years I've been putting in for this one tag.
No.
Yeah, that's what that means.
18 points doesn't sound as
18
cool
points
as 18
is
years.
not. Yeah, 18 points is like, oh, awesome, you're going to probably draw something out. No, it's like, at the end of my death, my life here on Earth, I might draw my premium elk tag, so limited entry elk tag. So we were talking also about legislation activities, and we've got Clark Aposhian, the director, the chairman.
The Clark Aposhian.
The one
Just
that
put
should be sitting in
Clark.
this chair. And we were talking about House Bill 87 off air earlier, and I went through it, and this is a safe storage firearms amendment.
Oh.
And Clark, I was actually looking through this bill. This is an Elizabeth Waite bill, and she's she's representative from District 31. And I got going through this like, well, I don't see anything. I don't see much. And then I got right down to the bottom of the bill.
Dun.
And for those that would like to look this up, you can just look up House Bill 87 and pull up Section 4, specifically Section 76-10.523. And the amendment is to read, an adult may be prosecuted for leaving a firearm in place easily accessible by a minor. The firearm should be secured with a locking device or stored in a locking container or location. And then they go and define what this, what a firearm device, safety device means. This reeks really bad, Clark. And you said, Bill, when you read this, you're going to start boiling, shaking in your chair.
Well, you talked about a manufactured crisis.
Yeah.
So what we've got is, this is a classic example of what they call a CAP law, Child Access Prevention Law. And for all Utah Shooting Sports Council, the NRA, and the other like gun groups have never been apologists for folks that leave guns out or fail to train anyone, their children or adults, in the proper use and handling of firearms. And so we always encourage, obviously, appropriate and secure storage of firearms. But what this bill does is it does nothing to require it. It only comes into play after a tragedy. And I'd like to point out the kind of tragedies that we're talking about, the numbers. Not that any is okay, but the numbers, if you look on the Utah mortality statistics, we're talking about the same numbers of children 0 to 14 that die by accidentally getting a firearm, same numbers as those that die in floods in Utah or by farm machinery accidents of the same age.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up 0 to 14 because this bill calls out 0 to 18. So the numbers don't match exactly from an age perspective. But, I mean, they're calling out that it is unlawful for the verbiage in this is unlawful for an owner of a firearm to store a loaded firearm in a place where the owner knows has reason to believe a minor under 18 of age or person restricted from possessing a firearm has access, unless it is securely encased, disabled, rendered inoperable, ready accessible for immediate use. I'd love to know what their definition is for readily accessible.
Well, I'd like to find out, what if we were to substitute the word firearm with a word that includes firearm, but includes all the other things that are actually so much more dangerous that we've seen around the house that account for literally 98.9% of the accidents, which are, and just add the word, any dangerous item.
Any dangerous
item. Can we say Tide Pods? Can we
Any
specifically say
dangerous
Tide Pods?
Yeah. Tide Pods, hammers, vehicles.
So watch this. Utah Shooting Sports Council is going to be watching and obviously commenting, working on this bill. And so, I have to add one thing on Joe Firearms. Go to joefirearms.com, I think it is, and mark your calendar for May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at Big Salty. It is the May Day AK Revolution.
Oh, that's a fun event. That is a very fun event. Casey and I went out last year.
Yes, we did.
I'm not sure where you were at, Clark, but Casey and I went out and got to shoot a lot of firearms, and we got to shoot the new...
the double barrel.
Not the double barrel, the suppressed AK-47.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Clark, like always, we appreciate you. What's that?
Pillows $5 in the jar because he said Hanson.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
shoot,
right.
I did. I'll put it in. Clark, like always, travel safe. We're just wrapping up here at the show, but for all of our listeners, to get more information, sign up on UtahShootingSportsCouncil.org. Get on our email alerts. There is no Senate sponsor for this bill at this time. So, but things change, and they change rapidly.
So watch it.
But this is one of many anti-gun bills that we're going to be fighting your rights for. Thanks for listening in. Have a great day. Take a person out shooting. Clean up after yourself, and keep a gun warm. Go out and shoot it.
Yeah.
See you next week.
We didn't need it all.
Clark. No. Always good to have Clark on the line. So.
For like 2 minutes.
Even though he's
taxes
playing.
than everyone else. How and when should you claim your